While everyone was obsessing over Bitcoin and gold, silver just did something absolutely insane that almost nobody noticed. Silver is up 91% in just 1 year, hitting $61 per ounce, which are levels we haven't seen since 1980. And here's the kicker. Top analysts are now predicting it could hit $100 in 2026. If you missed this rally, don't worry, because the party might just be getting started. In the next 5 minutes, I'm breaking down why silver is crushing almost everything in the market, what's actually driving this historic surge, and whether you should be buying right now at these all-time highs. What's up, everyone? I'm Harris, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, I break down market trends and investment opportunities that actually matter to your portfolio. Today we're talking about silver, the underdog precious metal that's quietly outperforming nearly every major asset class in 2025. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and smash the like because this silver story is just getting started. Let me paint you a picture of what just happened. On January 1st, 2025, silver was trading around $32 per ounce. Fast forward to today, December 10th, and it's sitting at $61.10. That's a 91% gain in a single year. To put this in perspective, Bitcoin is up around 130% this year, which is impressive but extremely volatile. Gold is up 54%, which is solid but nothing crazy, and the S&P 500 is up maybe 20 to 25%. But silver actually doubled in price while flying completely under everyone's radar. Just a few days ago, silver hit an all-time high of $61.58. The last time we saw prices anywhere near this level was in 1980 during the famous Hunt Brothers silver squeeze, and that was 45 years ago. In just the past month alone, silver prices have climbed 19%, and last week it jumped 14% in a single week. This isn't just a temporary bump or a short squeeze. This is a genuine breakout that's backed by fundamental forces. And here's what makes this even more compelling. This marks the 5th consecutive year of global supply deficits, meaning the world is consuming significantly more silver than it's actually producing. And when supply can't meet demand for 5 straight years, you don't usually get a correction, you typically get a moonshot. So what's actually driving this explosive move? It's not just speculation or hype, it's 3 massive structural forces that are colliding all at once. And understanding these forces is critical if you want to know where silver is headed next. The first force is industrial demand, and this is the part most people completely miss. Here is something that might surprise you. Over 50% of all silver demand actually comes from industry, not from investors buying coins or jewelry. Silver is absolutely essential for solar panels, and solar demand alone is up 20% this year, requiring over 200 million ounces of silver. Every electric vehicle that rolls off the production line needs silver for its batteries and electronic systems. The entire 5G technology infrastructure that's being built worldwide requires massive amounts of silver. And now, artificial intelligence data centers that consume enormous amounts of power all need silver conductors to function efficiently. The global energy transition that governments are pushing literally runs on silver, and here's the crazy part. Even as silver prices have doubled, industrial demand has undropped at all, because there is simply no good substitute for silver in most of these applications. The second major force is that supply is literally collapsing at the worst possible time. Global silver production has been declining for an entire decade now, and this year mine production fell another 2% to 665 million ounces. Major mines in Latin America are closing due to resource depletion, infrastructure problems, high extraction costs, and geopolitical issues including tariffs. We are currently experiencing the largest supply deficit on record in the silver market. Recycling of silver is at 12-year highs as people try to cash in on high prices. But even with record recycling, it's still not nearly enough to close the gap. The market is short by hundreds of millions of ounces, and you can't just open a new silver mine overnight, because it typically takes 7 to 10 years from discovery to production. The third force driving silver higher is a combination of macroeconomic factors and massive investment flows into the metal. Silver is rapidly becoming the ultimate safe haven play in an increasingly chaotic world. Ongoing geopolitical tensions in the Middle East, the Ukraine-Russia conflict, and US-China trade disputes are all driving investors toward hard assets. Inflation concerns remain elevated even as central banks cut rates, making precious metals attractive hedges. We're seeing absolutely massive ETF inflows, with 590 tons of new investment flooding into silver-backed funds in just one recent week. 31% of institutional and retail investors are now allocating portions of their portfolios to precious metals for diversification and protection. And here's the best part about silver. It's what traders call high beta gold, meaning it tends to move 2 to 3 times more than gold does. When gold goes up 1%, silver typically jumps 2 to 3%, making it like gold on steroids for investors who can handle the volatility. Now let's talk about the big question that everyone wants answered. Is silver actually going to hit $100 per ounce in 2026? Here's what the major analysts and forecasting firms are predicting. The conservative forecast from ING Bank suggests an average price of $55 throughout 2026, with peaks around $65. And this is based on steady industrial demand continuing without major disruptions. Trading Economics has a moderate forecast calling for $58.65 by the end of the first quarter of 2026, rising to $63.78 within 12 months. And this is supported by the ongoing supply deficits. LongForecast has a more bullish prediction, calling for $76.81 by January 2026 and climbing all the way to $103 by September 2026, driven primarily by ETF inflows and persistent shortages. And then you have the real moonshot forecasts from firms like FX Empire and CoinCodex that are targeting $100 in 2026, if supply deficits continue to widen, with some algorithmic models even suggesting $298 by 2030. Here's my honest take on where silver is headed. The base case scenario is a trading range of $60 to $70 throughout 2026, which would represent 20 to 40% gains from current levels. The bull case scenario is $80 to $100 if solar panel production and electric vehicle manufacturing continue booming and supply stays this tight, but this really requires the energy transition to accelerate significantly. The bear case is a 10 to 20% correction back down to the $50 level if we hit an unexpected recession and industrial demand temporarily drops off a cliff. But here's the thing that gives silver a safety net. Even in a recession, silver maintains a price floor because of its dual role as both an industrial commodity and a monetary safe haven asset. And that structural supply deficit doesn't just magically disappear during economic downturns because mines and suddenly produce more metal overnight. So the final question is, should you actually buy silver right now at $61 per ounce, which is essentially an all-time high? Here's my practical advice. If you're completely new to silver and have never owned any before, don't go all in at these elevated levels. Start with just 5 to 10% of your overall portfolio allocated to precious metals. Use dollar cost averaging, which means buy some now and then buy more if we get pullbacks or corrections. You can buy physical silver in the form of coins and bars, or you can buy silver ETFs like SLV, which are much easier to trade. If you already own silver and you're sitting on massive gains, congratulations, you were way ahead of the curve. Consider taking some profits when we hit $65 to $70. But definitely keep a core position because the structural story supporting higher silver prices has not changed at all. The key things I'm personally watching are the gold to silver ratio, which if it drops below 65 to 1 could signal silver is about to absolutely explode higher. I'm watching industrial demand data including solar installation numbers and electric vehicle production figures. And I'm closely monitoring Federal Reserve policy because more rate cuts equal a weaker dollar, which typically equals higher precious metals prices. The main risks to be aware of are that a stronger dollar could trigger a pullback to 56 to 58. Dollar support levels, a deep recession could temporarily hurt industrial demand, and nothing in markets goes up in a straight line forever, so expect corrections along the way. Alright, now it's time for you to weigh in and tell me what you think. Drop a comment right now and answer this question. Will silver hit $100 in 2026? Vote yes, vote no, or vote only if we get a major crisis. And here's a bonus question. Are you buying silver at these current prices, or are you waiting for a pullback to get a better entry? If you found this breakdown valuable and it helped you understand the silver market better, smash that like button because it genuinely helps the algorithm push this content to more people who need to see it. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications because I'll be tracking Silver's journey toward potentially $100, and you definitely don't want to miss the updates and analysis. Share this video with anyone who's been asking what they should invest in for 2026, because silver is honestly one of the most compelling opportunities heading into next year. I'm Harris, and I'll see you in the next one. Whether you're stacking physical silver bars and coins, buying ETFs, or just watching this unfold from the sidelines, the silver story is far from over, and we're potentially in the early innings of something really big. Stay informed, stay ahead of the curve, and let's catch that next wave together.